Ran here, and one of my server cases that I got from BitCap came in. Now I ordered two with a bunch of 3070s, their last batch. I basically kind of asked them, I'm like, you have any more you could sell me? And they're like, yeah. So they did, and I've already opened it up and kind of inspected it. I had to do a few things. Now for what I paid for it, which was basically nothing, I'll take it. I had to put a new CMOS battery in, and I kind of just had to rewire these, make sure these plugs were all good. I've never seen this power supply before, but I'm assuming it works because they usually send me pretty good stuff. Basically what I'm going to put in here is I'm going to put 12 3060 Ti's in here. I'm going to take two rigs and just chomp them apart and get them put in here. The plan is to get this done a little earlier than normal because I want to move some other things around. So we're going to film the video of me building it. So first I just want to go over the server. It's an Alpha Miner 2600 watt power supply. Okay, so I definitely don't need all of that. It's going to power 12 3060 Ti's, which is 1700 watts max, plus the board. Anyway, it's overkill. I don't see an SSD in here, but they have a USB stick over there, so I'm going to just pop one of my USB sticks in here. Everything else looks good. You know, I inspected the board for damage. I don't see any. Maybe I should repaste the CPU. I don't really feel like it, if we're being honest, but I probably should. And I probably should just take this power supply and unscrew it and make sure it just doesn't jiggle or anything crazy. So let's do that real quick. So no jiggling in the power supply or anything. I found this blade in here. I think it's basically the same size. Oh, it doesn't. It kind of looks like an Intel cooler blade, but it doesn't look like there's any missing. And I checked in here, and thankfully it doesn't look like there's any missing here. It would have been a really big bummer if this power supply was shot. It's interesting the way it's built. I've never seen one like this, but I know they're there. So we're going to go ahead and take that cooler off, and I'm probably going to have to clean this and repaste it. Good thing I did. This is pretty dry and barren. Now look, you know, when you buy from BitCap, these are basically have probably been sitting off in a warehouse, not being used. I get it. The price I got on these, like I said, was, you wouldn't believe me if I told you how much I paid for this thing and what they charged me. So, you know, when you get something this cheap, sacrifices, or you're expecting to get it in a certain kind of condition. So let's go ahead and clean this off. All right, so I cleaned them. I'm going to just take this crappy free thermal paste I got. I don't really want to burn the Arctic on this. Just put a bunch on it, and we're good to go. The rest of the board looks pretty clean. I don't really think I'm going to clean it. Basically just, I think that might have been from a fan. Now that I think about it, I'm going to look at these fans real quick after I get this back on and securing the power supply, and I think I'm good to go. Now I'm definitely not putting this thing on its side like with the Octominers, which is fine. I'll just stack it. I've got a place I could stack it, and it's not going to be a big deal. Alright, I didn't see any damage on the fan blades. I didn't hear any shaking. I repasted the CPU. It looks like we're good to go on this thing. I'm going to now go ahead and bring two... I'm probably actually going to turn off my 10 card rig and put it on here. Well, most of it anyway. And then I'm going to take my 6 card rig and put most of that on here as well. There'll be some out, but I just want to get this built. And even if I have some 30 series turned off, that's okay, because I still have a 40, I don't know when you're going to see this being filmed, but I still have a 4060 Ti rig that I may or may not have already built, and I want to get that on the open air frame for now. So I'm trying to get some 3060 Ti's into this one, and I have one more server case that I'm waiting for some veteran miner cables. Shout out to him for having what I need, and I was glad to pay him to get the parts I needed to finish that build, and I'll be able to put the rest of them in that case. So let's go ahead and populate these 12 3070s in it. Now these rows are pretty slim, so I need to go find 12 thin 3070s. I think most of my 10 card rig and that rig that I have some cards with dead fans should actually all populate in here, and hopefully I'm right, because we're going to go try it right now. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to disassemble this rig and this rig. We're taking apart both of these rigs, and we are going to get them into the server cases. I think I'm going to have some overflow, but I got to use this rig for something else, so I want to get these cards off of it. So first thing we're going to do, I think, is we're going to power down this one, and then we'll power down the larger one. Alright, the power's drained. Now we're going to remove the GPUs. Taking one last look at the rig before I take it apart. It's pretty dusty, so I'm going to clean it, and we're going to just get it into the new one. So I realized that when I took apart that one rig, which I did actually need the space for currently, I only had two 3060 Ti's in it, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and get these put in. I just cleaned them up a tad bit. I kind of just blew them. I ripped off the fans on this one. I already repasted this a while ago, so I don't really need to. It has some oil leakage, but honestly, it's fine. This one, there's a long story behind it, but you couldn't get it much cheaper than I got it, so I'm okay with just mining with it as it is. So let me get these in. I got my 3060 Ti rig right here, 10 card. We're going to start disassembling this, and I'm probably just going to actually disassemble the whole thing and start harvesting the parts when I'm done. I don't think this tough is going to fit in that server case, but I think the rest of them, or most of them, should fit, and we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there. So let's get these in. This case is a smaller 12 card case. I'm glad I don't have a lot more of these because there's only certain cards that can fit. I might have to cannibalize a third rig to get it done. Basically, after we added the HP that I just ripped the fans off of and the Co, which may end up getting kicked out of here, I don't know. I've got two of my original 3060 Ti's I bought. I got these off Walmart.com actually. One day in January of 2020, I hit 9 GPUs in a day. 2021, I mean, and these were two of them. I should have bought more of them, and I didn't. Long story on that. But these things are so old, they're out of warranty now, and the warranty's 3 years. And I think these things are. I might have gotten them a little sooner than that, but it's kind of crazy that the warranty on them has already expired. It just shows you how old these GPUs are. I mean, I think, we're about to hit 2024, and they're still mining away. And I probably am going to keep these along with these Eagles because these were 4 of the first 3060 Ti's I bought, and they're still doing great. And like I said, I might just keep them. Just like those 580s, you kind of just want to see how long they mine for. Will they mine 3, 4, 5 years down the road? Will they be profitable? Who knows? All right, so anyway, I have 2, 4, 6, 7 in. I need to fit 5 more. I hope I have these 4 gigabytes that I would like to put in here, and I hope at least 3 of them fit, which means then I can go grab 2 more EVGA XC3 or For the Win 3 3060 Ti's, pop them in here and be done. Now I might actually have to end up moving these these shorter cards over here just because it seems like there's just more stuff over here. We'll see. So I'll be right back. We hit a snag. This gigabyte will not fit in here. It's just barely too big, which means only one of the gigabytes will fit. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm probably gonna just move these to keep all the EVGAs next to each other, etc. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go cannibalize some XC3 EVGA 3060 Ti's, which I know I have some floating around. That's going to be fun and annoying, and I might have to end up shutting down more rigs to get this up. Mining, and it's worth mining with everything you can right now, so even if it's just a few. But I do want to get this up because I have another 8-card server rig I can get up tomorrow, and I can put these annoying 3060 Ti's in there. So we're going to move this real quick because the reason I'm trying to rush and get this done is because I have 6 more server cases coming, and it's going to be a lot of work, so I want to get done when I can. Well, this was going to be an all 3060 Ti rig, and then I realized I have way less 3060 Ti's than I thought. So right in here, there are 7, okay? We have 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 3060 Ti's. I can get 2 more that will fit in here for 10, right? The problem I have is these 4 are too large. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're too large, right? And then we've got 2 more large ones, 5, 6 right here. That's a 3070, and these are 2 small 3060 Ti's, which I will put in that server case in there. Then all I have left are these 6 founders. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these 3060 Ti's and I'm gonna organize them with the 6 big ones for a 12 card 3070 or for a 12 card 3060 Ti rig in one of the octo miners. And then I guess this one is going to end up being 10 with 2 3070s because I have way less 3060 Ti's than I thought. I guess I'd have under 20 of them, which means the rest of this farm is, well, those are my buddies, but the rest of this farm is all 3070s. I mean, that's pretty cool and also pretty crazy at the same time. So I'm actually going to take this rig offline as well. Alright, so as I stated before, we have 10 3060 Ti's in here, 2 3070s, one Zotac blower, and then the fan just finally popped off. It gave up. I didn't think it would last. I'm honestly just going to take the full shroud off of this. I don't need this one failing in here and having any issues. This is the last Zotac I have. It's not like a reliable blower or freshly RMA'd or just a new card. So we're going to go ahead and just take this fan shroud off, and honestly we're just going to mine with this thing till it's done. Be right back. So this card is literally, I can't take it apart. So I have part of it apart, right? And I can't get to the screws on this bottom right here to get the back plate off, which will allow me to get to the other screws. It's almost like they don't want you to take it apart. Excuse the dirtiness and the dead bugs. This is a mining card. I would never sell it to somebody. But like, I can't get back there. So I gotta figure out what to do. I think I'm just gonna start unscrewing everything until I can get to something. I'll be right back. Never mind, I was able to pry it open. Man, this thing is rough. I'm gonna probably have to clean this and get rid of all the backplate stuff. So this is gonna take a little longer than I thought. I'll be back. Alright, so I got it clean. Zotac thermal pads are junk. Look at how they stick on here from the backplate. This is awful. I'm just going to clean up the back plate a little bit and screw on to the front plate or the side plate, whatever you call this thing. And then these are probably, I'll save them. You never know. Sometimes I sell these things where people just don't care about how they look. They just want the card, and I always offer them. And they take them, so I'll just throw that in a box along with the other ones that I've replaced. And then let's get this thing back together. That was fun. Not at all. This is what it looks like now. I repasted it. I just cleaned it up as much as I could. And that's the other stuff. And these are my hands. I really dislike these Zotacs. Don't buy Zotac 30 series. I know the 40 series is better. Don't buy the 30 series. Just stay away. I'm going to go get this in, and I'm going to go wash my hands, and I should be ready to get this thing posted. Alright, so they're all in. It's funny, you can tell. You can't really tell what a GPU looks like when its shroud is off. They're all the same in the end, right? Anyway, we've got 10 3060 Ti's, 2 4070s. We're going to get them all wired up now. A lot of one-plug ones, so I'll probably be able to just wire these in the back or something, just so they don't take up space. And I'm just going to make sure all of this is clean and wired up, and then I'll be ready to close it up, boot, and pray. So it's wired up and ready to go. I don't see any issues. I double checked it. I made sure the cables weren't pushed or shoved or anything. There's this one that's kind of loose back here that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I don't think it's going to move. I mean, I'm definitely not putting this thing on its side. I love the guys at BidCap, and I'm sure they do, but I'm just going to leave this one not on its side. I'm going to leave it, which is fine. I have the room, and I don't mind it. But I've got 12 here, all set up. Let's get this sucker closed up and turned on, and let's see if it boots. I'm just going to use the USB bootable. I had it working on the one rig, so it should work just fine on this one. Let's get to it. It is passing away. I'm pretty excited about it. The great thing I realized is that I would be able to take the other BidCap 3070 12 card rig that's basically one of these cards and just put it right on top of this one using this plug right here, and I won't have to raise this shelf, which I was kind of worried I'd have to do. So I can basically put 24 cards where I could barely fit 12 before, which will free up a lot of space. And here it is, all 12 GPUs, all looking good, hashing great. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. It's the first of quite a few server case videos. I'm really, really excited. Croup Man, out.